focus is the key to success. We want to make sure that you understand the direction that you're headed. Before we dive in, really quick, my name is Stefanie Edwards. I am a certified life coach from the Life Coach School, but I'm also a business marketer. I have 20 years of business. I started doing business marketing in 2001. So it's officially 20 years been my anniversary. I have worked for multi-million-dollar businesses inside as their marketing director, working and setting up all the different elements, coordinating with the sales team, making sure we are launching effectively products and services. I've worked in different industries. But then I went out on my own and I set up my own business, consulting work for brand new entrepreneurs who were excited to take their idea and share it with the world, but they didn't quite know how to do that. And that's where I came in, helping them to set up a plan, helping them to execute and be focused on what they were doing. And when we bring all these different elements together, then we were able to give structure and define what being in business looked like for them. Now here I am taking the best of both worlds, all of my marketing and business experience combined with being a certified coach, because one of the things that we need to overcome is just because you have a great plan, just because you have a great idea, right? You still have to overcome the mindset drama. But on the other hand, you could just stay coaching all day long, working through your drama and not actually ever take action because you don't have clarity and focus around what you're doing. So that's why we merge these two together. That's what this workshop is all about. So here's where we're going to dive in, talking about how you can work less and have more impact as a life coach. And I say that you're in business and a new life coach, so maybe you're just stepping out. You were just in those early stages. On the other hand, maybe you've been trying this for a while and it's just not quite working. This is for you too. So hang in there. So if you just feel like essentially you've been floundering, that's my keyword that I always come back to, because when I work with clients, that's what I'm seeing. So imagine you're out in the ocean or you're in a pool and you're just kind of flailing around. You're exuding a lot of energy, right? You have a lot of motion going on, but you're not actually going anywhere. And you're getting exhausted trying to tread water, but you're not making progress. I see the same thing happening for life coaches who are trying to set up their business. They are floundering. They are just flailing around doing things, but nothing is actually moving them forward. They are doing activities without the consistency, without the structure to actually have the success they want. I hope this is not you, but if you are in the right spot. This is what we're going to cover in this workshop. So entering the life coaching industry is really simple. We know that. It's an unregulated industry. So you can essentially just say, I'm in business. I'm a life coach. I can help you, right? You don't have to have a certification profession. You don't have to go through any regulated trainings. So it's very simple just to say you are in business. But here's the challenge. Some people are confusing the ease with being in business as saying you're a life coach as the same as running a business as a life coach. And there's a big distinction there, because as much as I want this to be easy for you, and it's totally possible, it takes some work. It takes the effort and structure to create the organization that is going to work for you. So I like to say, if you want your business to work for you and earn you money, get you the clients, keep you in business, like you need to work for your business. You need to lay that foundation, okay? And it's a very good opportunity for you to look, how can I move forward in my business other than just calling myself a life coach? We want you to own that, identify with that 100%. But beyond that, how can you set yourself up so you are truly in business? Being in business requires a level of commitment and focus that many are going to struggle to achieve. And this is where I have done this for multi-million-dollar businesses and then for new entrepreneurs, now for life coaches, because you are in a unique and amazing spot. You're in an industry that is taking off, that is growing so rapidly. This is billion-dollar industry with so much potential. How can you tap into that effectively? And so how can I say this? Let me put some stats behind this. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that most businesses, now this is like generally speaking, this is not just life coaching businesses, but most businesses, as they go in and set up, 20% of those are going to fail in the first year. The first 12 months, they're not going to make it past that. Into the second year, another 30% are going to fail. 50% have failed and have left, done something else after the 5th year. What is happening here is so true. It's happening over and over. And I experienced this myself in my early 20s. I said, I want to go make more money. I'm going to go into business for myself. But that was all I had, was just the intention. I didn't have the ability to work through my own thoughts, the roadblocks that were coming up that would hold me back. I didn't have a business structure. I didn't know how to recruit new clients. I didn't have any of that. I was just motivated to make more money. And as good as that is as a goal, it wasn't even clear on what I wanted to earn. So I was really floundering. That was the time when I was just flailing around, and eventually I just started to sink, and I went and I took another job. And for me, that job felt like a lifesaver because now I was back. And then I got back into the rhythm of earning money, of doing the productivity. And I'm thinking again, there's just this urge inside of me to work for myself, to do it myself. But why couldn't I make it work? I can do it all day long at this company. Why am I not able to do it for myself? And that's something we're going to continue to talk about in this workshop, because you need to understand the difference there of working for somebody else and working for yourself. And the thing that I always say is working for yourself is the greatest blessing, and it's kind of the greatest curse, because working for yourself, the problem there is you work for yourself. And if you don't show up for you, who's there to tell you otherwise, right? So we want to look at, why is there so much failure for people who want to go into business for themselves? What is happening when it's so easy in this modern age to go into business for yourself? You can work from home. You can work off the computer you already own. You probably don't have to have a lot of expenses, honestly, to set up and say you're in business as a life coach. But if that's the case, why is there still so much failure and floundering? Because the amazing privilege is, and I don't take this for granted, is that we have the opportunity to easily go into business, but we need to set ourselves up to make money on a consistent basis, to know how we can earn an income, how we can continue to retain clients, provide exceptional service. We need to understand all these different elements and how we can continually make this happen, being committed to ourselves to be in business. So for 20 years, like I said, I've been doing this for businesses. And a business, when I say a business, I want you to think there's a building, there's a corporation, there's a whole team, okay? Those are the kind of businesses I have worked for. They have structure. We have a plan in place. We know where every person on the team, how they operate. I knew my role as the marketing director, what I was responsible for, how I fit into, like, essentially as a cog, as a part of the bigger system. I knew what job responsibility I had. Knew the timelines for where I had to work, how I integrated as a part of the whole team, and all these different things. These elements, do you see, gave me structure in my role. Gave them structure for what they were willing to pay for somebody like me, how much value they got out of somebody in my role, all these different things. And same for all the other people that they employed. We all had to have a purpose. I think a business cannot continue to do is to have people that it's paying for that doesn't make them any money. You can get that. You understand that. But here you are trying to go into business for yourself without that same kind of structure. You haven't clearly outlined what you are going to do, what your job responsibilities are, when you are going to be working, how much money you will be earning, how much that yields you in value coming back to you. Do you see what I mean? You need to define this for yourself as the owner of your own life coaching practice. How can you set that parameter so you know what you're doing? The same as if you walked into a company with a job and you knew clearly what you're going to do, when you're going to work, how you're going to do it, and how you know you have been a success. That is what this is all about, because the ones who are struggling are those who are operating without a clear plan of action. And they just don't know the next step to take to grow their business, where they can go from here, what they should be doing tomorrow, what they're going to do next week, how they're going to need to hit their arbitrary income goal that they set for themselves. When you operate with a plan of action, it's like being like a hunter and taking a shot in the dark with no sight, no target, no mission. I've taken my oldest child to go bow and arrow shooting, and it's a lot of fun. But when we set up, they set us up in a lane, we have a target. We can clearly see at the end of the lane where we are aiming for and how we get so excited when we hit the mark. If it flies beyond that, we're off, and we know we have to recenter, readjust our bow, readjust our focus, change our stance, do something to get our aim back on target. The same is true for you. However, so many times I see new life coaches who are just shooting and the arrows going all over the place and they don't understand what's going wrong because they're missing the mark. They don't have a clear target of what they're supposed to be hitting. And so they don't know what they don't know, that it's absolutely going all over here haphazardly instead of going to where their aim needs to be. And your aim is going to look different than somebody else's. We're going to set this up so you have a clearly defined business that fits you and how you want to grow. That's the amazing thing about this. So what can you do to succeed in your business? You like my sassy picture here? I love this picture. So putting this together, setting up your business for success, I want you to follow these 4 things. These are your 4 action plans. And so you're going to have a business plan, a marketing plan, a growth plan, and a genius plan. I'm going to break these down for you. And then, like I said, I have a free guide that's going to walk you through and give you a quick explanation of each one, as well as give you a separate worksheet and items to complete under each of these areas. So just pay attention, follow along, absorb it now, listening, and then you can get that guide and go through this and take some action. First things we want to address is that planning ahead, setting up these plans of action. Why are you going to do this? It's going to, once again, recapping, giving you clearly an outline of what needs to be done. What is the most effective thing to move you forward? What is worth it? What can you stay focused on doing? And how are you going to keep yourself accountable? Remember, the hardest thing about being in business for yourself is that you're in business for yourself. And until you know how to hold yourself accountable, until you know how to push yourself when it feels uncomfortable and awkward, how do you keep moving forward? How do you do the things even when you don't want to? Okay. I was working with somebody and they canceled a session because they were like, I just didn't sleep great last night, so I'm going to sleep in instead of coming to the session. Like, where's the commitment for yourself to be in business? I can remember showing up for jobs where I'm tired because, I didn't sleep great last night, but I still went in and I still did the work because I knew somebody else was like responsible. I was responsible and accountable to somebody else, and they needed what I had to get done. But I see so many people who are in business for themselves who just lay off of that. And knowing, how can you keep showing up for yourself? The difference here is I know that I have my own back. Do you know you have your own back? That you are going to keep your word to yourself and you're going to follow through on launching your business, creating the effort that it takes to move forward. Are you all in on that? Going into business for yourself versus working for somebody else, that you learn how to show up for yourself. You have that commitment. You are obligated to yourself. And these are words that some people I have noticed, they back off of. They don't get excited about these words. But why not? I want you to think about this. When you work for somebody else, how you naturally have that obligation. You take on this commitment because you don't want to get fired. You want to keep earning income. You want to please them. Why can you not do that for yourself? That's all we're talking about here, is how can you do this for you? You matter. Your mission, your purpose for setting up your life coaching practice. Yes, you get to serve other people, and that's amazing. But think about what you're doing for yourself, the legacy you're creating by doing this, the ability to honor where you're at and what you are doing here. This is exciting. I get so excited about setting this up because you, as a life coach, you have the ability to earn and do and be. And there are many life coaches who have no desire to make this level of commitment. But I'm thinking, if you're here and you're still tracking with me at this point in the workshop, this is something that you're considering going all in on yourself. It's not making a commitment to anybody else, but to you. Do you see that? And so I am seeing, just to reiterate, I'm seeing multiple life coaches, newbies in the industry who are not willing to set up consistent business hours, not know when they're working. They're feeling overwhelmed and burnt out because they're working all around the clock. Okay? You wouldn't do that for a job. At least I hope not. You don't have a clear plan of action. You don't know what you're doing in your business. You don't know the best actions to take. You are working, like I said, you're swimming, but you're floundering. So you're not actually swimming and going anywhere. You're just treading water and it's wearing you out instead of moving you forward. How can you start to swim with efficiency and move forward in your business versus just floundering? And now you also don't have a clear offer. You don't have a clear niche. You don't have a clear purpose. You don't have clarity and focus to move forward in your business. So I want to talk to you about all of those things and help you to overcome the things that are holding you back, the mental roadblocks that are stopping you from taking action. You could potentially be making this so much harder than it has to be. And we can bring that back and show you how you can make it easier. That's the whole point of this conversation. Remember, I promised, how can you work less with ease to have a greater impact? It comes when you have the focus and you know what you're doing. What about not being willing to consistently market yourself, not be willing to show up in that effort in marketing, and not be able to promote yourself in other ways other than making a few casual posts organically on social media? This is a big red flag for me. This is a big warning sign that you're not all in your commitment if all you're willing to do is throw up some casual posts on social media, but not do any other marketing. Marketing is amazing. Marketing is so much fun when it aligns to your personality, but the whole purpose of marketing is to let people know you're in business, let them know you exist, and you are there and able to help. If you're afraid to do that, then what does that say about you? Like, that's an internal coaching reflection question, right? What is it that you're still having hesitancy about how you can show up and serve as a life coach? When you can get to that core issue, you can start to unlock why you're not moving forward with your marketing. And then we can talk about what marketing methods you want to take on, what strategy you want to have to share that message. But I get, before you can share the message, you've got to feel comfortable showing up as a life coach. So that's where I blend, like I said, blending the best of marketing and business planning with the mindset coaching. That is what my specialty is, mixing these two together, because you need a little bit of both to be a success. Are you tracking here? Like, can you totally relate to what this is? This is happening over and over. I'm seeing it so much. And that's why I want to speak exactly to this issue and helping you to set yourself up strong and confidently, feeling the power to be the life coach you dream about. So let's dive in now and talk about your plan of action. And as a reminder, I want you to get your free guide. This is going to give you an outline of what we're talking about here in the workshop. And it's also going to give you clear worksheets to go through for each of these different action plans that we're going to talk about. So here's where you can get that. It's Stefanie Edwards, and Stefanie's with an F. So watch how you're spelling it there. StefanieEdwards.com/setup business guide. And that is going to give you the free resource to start walking through this. Step 1, set up your business plan. And your business plan is the foundation for why you are in business. What does that include? Here's a couple of things you want to look at. The focus of your business. Why are you in business? And answering that question comes down to things like, yes, your niche. And what is it that you're going to coach on? Who is it that you're going to serve? How are you going to serve them? Thinking through those elements. Because once you know that, then you can get clear on your offer. You see so many new life coaches who don't have a clear offer. And just as an example, I'm going to share with you in a moment my offer for you to take this to the next level. I want you to listen how I talk about this so you can see the clarity that I have in how I present my offer. That is where you need to get with yours. You need to understand how you can clearly articulate what it is you do. Because some are actually getting people onto a consult call, having an opportunity to say, hey, I'm in business as a life coach. Can I help you? Like, oh, this sounds great. How can you help me? And you don't know what to say. You don't know how to price yourself. You don't know how to position yourself. Do you see the challenge there? But if we can set this up and you have a business plan of what it is you're offering, who you're offering it to, what you're going to provide, that also is playing into your confidence for being in business for yourself as a life coach. Your confidence serving as a life coach, your confidence running your own business. It's twofold. And we coach and work through all of this so that you have an understanding how this all plays together. So here's an example of one of the questions you're going to see on that worksheet when you get and download your free guide. What does a thriving life coaching practice look like for you? Notice the two elements here. For you, not for somebody else over here or somebody else or how I'm doing it. What does it look like for you? I want you to define that business. That's why it's your business plan, not my business plan, and you just go duplicate it. No, this is the business plan that works for you. As well as, what does it mean that it's thriving? Thriving is an exceptional word because you're not just making money, but you're doing it in an exceptional way. And thriving can be defined differently for all kinds of people. You might say thriving means I'm working this amount of hours on these amount of days, and I still get to be a mommy full time. Or thriving for me is I made this amount of dollars in this period of time. Like, you define that. So really envisioning what the future version of you who is being a success, who is thriving, has accomplished, and we break that down to create your business plan. That's part one. Then once we have that identified, we move into part two, your marketing plan. And I get super excited to get here, but we lay those foundations first in your business plan. Then we dive into the marketing plan, and here are some of the things your marketing plan will include. Focusing on your ideal client. Here's your big tip in marketing. I have worked in marketing for 20 years. I have taught marketing at the collegiate level, and I have taught marketing to my clients. And the same thing holds true every single time. And I say it over and over and over again, is that never, ever is everyone your target audience. Okay. Never, ever is everyone going to be your customer. And there's a variety of reasons of that. But look at any industry. Why do so many car manufacturers exist? Why does each car manufacturer create so many types of models? Because we all have different preferences. You can even break this down to water. Water, like seriously, how many different brands of water are there? Different ways they package their bottles, the ways they message. Like people have preferences on water, on toilet paper, on everything. So of course, they're going to have a preference about what kind of life coach they would want. The type of life coach, the personality of the life coach, the way they approach life coaching, all the things, right? So never, ever is everyone your target audience. You have to find the ideal person that you speak to. And when you do that, you can learn how to get inside of their head. You can engage with them specifically. Notice how in this workshop, I am talking to people who are life coaches, and more specifically, those who are new to life coaching, setting up a business for themselves. Not somebody who wants to go work in somebody else's company, being a life coach in a job position, right? Not somebody who is not a life coach, and not somebody who is already making millions of dollars as a life coach. I am speaking to those who are newer in the industry or new getting set up in their business as a life coach. And that way I can talk to you where you're at. I know what you're struggling with. I have walked through this. I have helped clients through this, and I can call out the different areas where you're struggling, the pain you are having. And by doing that, you and I can start to engage, because we can start to build a relationship around where you are at, the problems you face, the challenges you have, the mindset drama you are dealing with. The same is true for your ideal clients. If you can get in their head, you know what they are dealing with, then you can start to speak to them. And that's where your messaging, however you're delivering that, comes across in a way that they're like, she gets me. She knows what I am talking about. I want to go follow her more. I want to start attending her, whatever trainings, listening to her podcasts, doing whatever workshops she has, because I want more from her. I want to start to engage with her more. That's how we start to build out your marketing plan. It is aligned as well with your ideal target audience, that ideal client who would best be suited to work with you, as well as it is aligned with you. I want you to have the energy, the joy, the excitement of doing marketing for your business. So rather than trying to do all the things, I want you to find the one that aligns to your personality. Some people really love being on video. Some people just want to do audio. Some people only want to write. You can market your business however you want to. Some people love networking. Some people love collaborations. You can do marketing however you want to. I have had too many clients come to work with me, and they have been following another method, and they're like, hate it. They don't align to it. They don't want to do it. It doesn't fit with their personality, and they have so much resistance to it. And we learn how to clean that resistance up, learn how to align their marketing strategy with them and their personality and where they're at in their business, and then they can take off. But when you're working against resistance, you know, it's just making an uphill battle. You don't want to do it. If we have our business plan, we have our marketing plan, we also want to make sure that we are doing the best thing to move us forward, and we have a way to track that, to keep us accountable, and to make sure we're growing with ease. That's what your growth plan is all about. This is where you're going to set up your business goals, you're going to have metrics for accountability, and you're going to put your mindset coaching. So all of these things come together. This is where you move from an arbitrary income goal. So I see a lot of new life coaches who get caught onto this idea of hitting six figures. And they say, I want to make $100,000 in a year. And that's their big declaration, but they do nothing else from there. The problem is How are you going to make $100,000? When are you going to make it by? Like you say 1 year. Well, when does 1 year start? It doesn't have to be January to December 31st. It can be August 1st till July 31st, of the next year. Like however you want to start this, but you know what that looks like. Maybe you're not even basing it on a 12-month calendar. However you do this, but we set a defined time frame. We set goals. We know what income you're going to strive for. What does that look like on a monthly basis? What does it look like on a weekly basis? How do you need to break down your goals into metrics and milestones so you know if you're making progress? And I want to show you the other part of this is how many leads do you need to make a number of offers every month? Okay, if you're tracking by monthly, how many offers are you going to have to sell to hit your total income goal? So if you want to make $100,000 in a year, you could break that down by dividing by 12 months. And then you could say, how many offers do I need to have sold each month to hit my thing? Or maybe I don't sell on a monthly basis. I'm not openly selling all the time. That would be determined in your business plan. And now here in the growth plan, we would know, okay, when are you open to sell? Do you sell quarterly? And so you want to take in this many people all at a time? How is it that you set that up? We're going to talk through all of that so you understand your income goals. It's a little bit of math so that you have some clarity around what you are doing and how you're moving forward. And then the other element is your mindset coaching. Going back here, right? It's not just the numbers. It's not just having the goals in place, but the mindset coaching to keep you growing. And that's why, as a part of what my offer is to you, is you have weekly one-on-one sessions where we walk through the roadblocks that are coming up for you. Areas you feel scared about, nervous, anxious, all the different things that come out of setting up and going into business for yourself. Where are you concerned? Where are you worried? Where are you doubting yourself? Where are you trying to self-sabotage? We want to call these out and work through them to grow and strengthen your confidence in your ability to be in business for yourself as a life coach. So whatever you need, we're going to tackle it and coach on that one-on-one each and every week. Now, your genius plan. Put this at the end because yes, we need the other three, but don't discredit this just because it's at the end. Here's a big part of this is where it's going to prevent burnout. This is where you're going to prevent like being overwhelmed and taking on too much. And here's a big part of it. You need to honor and respect your area of specialty, the talent that you have that only you can do. So ideally, it is you as a life coach. Only you can do that. You might get to the point someday where your business and you hire other coaches to come coach in your method and help you along. But probably getting started, you are the only one who is going to be able to coach. That is your area of specialty. You cannot outsource that. Do you see that? But your area of specialty does not have to be in building out websites. It might not even be in setting up some of your marketing elements. There are other things. Maybe it's not in doing your taxes. Somebody else could come and do that. So how can you know your area of specialty where you're going to focus, and then you learn how to trust others and build up a support network, okay? Whatever that looks like. And we're going to talk about different ways to make this happen. And that can happen and achieve at all different income brackets where you can trust others to help you, to support you, to keep you moving forward instead of you getting caught up doing other things. See so many life coaches. And part of this is they're doing this to delay going into business. They don't know what to focus on. They don't know how to focus. And so it just seems easier to say, I need to go work on my website. I need to go work on setting up these other things before I'm ready to be in business. Because here's the thing. That puts you back to the floundering, right? You feel like you're doing a lot. You feel like you're working, but you're just treading water. You're not actually swimming and making the progress. I keep coming back to that because I want that to sink into your mind so you can see areas where you might be doing that instead of moving forward. The other part of your genius plan is connecting back to your future self. Who are you in the future that has been successful, that has that thriving coaching practice that we talked about in your business plan? And how can you connect with her? How can you start to embody her and become her? And that is one of the bigger things that we do in your mindset coaching. So here's an example of your genius plan. Look at this chart and consider how in the top left quadrant, these are activities that yield you high profit with less time and effort. This is a great place to be. Making more money for less effort, I'm in. But then look at the bottom, less effort and less profit. Sometimes those are effective things to do too, because it doesn't require a lot of time and effort, but it yields you a little bit of profit. Obviously, I want to get to the top quadrant, but sometimes I have to do these things in the bottom that can take me there. But now look at the other side of the chart. If I get to on the bottom right, here's where you don't want to be, but a lot of people who are just treading the water, doing the activity and wearing themselves out, but not moving forward, is they're doing things that are high effort and take a lot of time and focus, take you away from other things, and there's such a low return. You might not have any return for a long period of time. And what happens there is you don't start making progress. You don't feel like you're moving forward in your business. Okay. That's where we want to stay. We want to stay out of this bottom right quadrant. And then on the top there is high profit, but it takes more time. And sometimes those are really good to consider, but we want to do this in limited quantities because they take so much more effort, but they have a higher return. So we think through how we can find the balance of this. This is where your genius plan comes into play after you have your business and your marketing set in place, you have your growth metrics, and then we can step into being a genius in your business and moving you forward. So pause right here. This has been a lot. You're taking this in. I hope that you're seeing this. And this is a reality check for you. Think about where you're at right now. How confident do you feel in being in business for yourself? How focused do you feel in having the ability to know what you're doing, the best way to do it? So you're swimming forward with actual diligent and focused and action, right? Versus just floundering around and wasting your effort and your energy, and you're not actually making progress. Like, let this moment be a reality check for you to check in with yourself and say, where am I? Am I really doing this? And you are not, here's the hard truth, like you are not in business if you are not willing to work for your business. Your business is brand new and you need to grow it. When you can grow it and it has the success metrics in place, the definition, the structure, it will start to feed back to you and it will start to take care of you. But right now, you need to take care of your business. You've got to be willing to put in the effort and the focus and the attention rather than haphazardly doing it, putting the other things off, not having your own word and your commitment to yourself to do what you say you're going to do to grow your business. Think about it. Any job that you have ever had, the responsibilities that are in place, you had clearly outlined job description. You knew why you were being hired. You knew what they had expectations for you to do. You were there for a certain amount of hours. You showed up in that time frame. You knew what you had to get done and by when, who to pass it off to, the result that was going to come out of that. There was somebody that you reported to, that you had responsibilities, that you had to take ownership of. And in the bottom line was, you did it. Because you didn't want to get fired. You didn't want to lose your income coming in. And if you didn't, you either got reprimanded or hopefully they did fire you if you failed to perform. Or maybe you saw other people who failed to perform and they got fired. Like, you need to know the way that you showed up for this business, somebody else's business, is the way you need to show up for your business. That same level of commitment, that same structure, that same focus, so you actually move forward. You are growing. When it comes to running your own coaching business, you need to treat yourself with the same level of respect, commitment, responsibility that you've shown up for your past employers. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. But when you can do that, when you can be in business for yourself in that way, then you're going to be a success. This is why I failed the first time I tried to go into business. And this is why I failed the second time I went into business for myself, because I didn't have any of this. And so when I finally, years later, said, I still have this entrepreneurial spirit, I still have this drive to want to work for myself, I said, how can I figure this out? And that's where I brought it all together. And I got the coaching, I got the support, I got it. So I started understanding the structure that needed to be in place so that I could start to do it. And then how do I keep doing it when it feels heavy, when I don't want to do it, when I don't want to show up, right? There are those days, or there are the doubts that come in, and I got to be able to push through that. How do I understand how to do that? How to work through my doubt as it comes up? And this is what this is all about. This is the offer that I'm about to make to you, is how can you do this? So first of all, are you seeing the problem? Are you checking in? This is another checkpoint. Like, are you seeing the problem here as I'm explaining it as it relates to you? What is happening in your business that is not actually working for you? Because if you are willing to show up and give it all for somebody else, but not for yourself, that's the problem we need to address. Why won't you go all in for you? I want to help you see that. Why don't you have your own back? That's what that's all about. Why is making a commitment to yourself and to your business, why does that feel scary or heavy or overwhelming? What is it that's coming out of that we can start to address and pinpoint? What are you afraid of? Fear comes up in so many ways. And you may try and mask that and say there's something else that's holding you back. But when you're getting consistently coached on this, you can start to identify that. Be open, be willing to be vulnerable, to express what's going on so you can start to move forward. That's why a big part of what we're doing is this private one-on-one coaching, so that you have that support. You know that you can bring it to me and I have your back. I'm going to help you to see where you can support yourself. That's why I love being a coach. I love coaching through this and helping my clients with the mind drama, so much mind drama that keeps coming up that's preventing them from taking action. And I can help you there too. Exactly how I can help you. So we're going to organize and plan out your business while simultaneously helping you deal with the mindset. So here's the thing. As a life coach, you know how important it is to work through the thoughts in your head. You know how important it is to keep addressing those and getting regular coaching. But you also probably have seen how you can stay just coaching and find the next little thing and the next thing and the next thing, keep pulling all the threads, right? It's like when your mom says, don't pull the thread in your sweater or the whole thing's going to come apart. It just keeps pulling out. And eventually you could just end up just coaching so much and keep floundering because you're not actually moving forward. That's why I'm saying it's such a blend between the marketing and the business approach and the mindset coaching. Putting these two together is what's going to take you forward. Just like before I became a life coach, before I became certified from the life coach school, I was helping my clients set up their business and their marketing plan, getting them structured. But then I saw that they would start self-sabotaging. They would get stuck on things. They wouldn't move forward. Why? Because it was the mind drama. And so they would get caught up. They would get afraid. They would have anxiety about it. And I had one person who instead her launch was almost completely all put together. I'd helped her structure her launch, set everything into place. We were ready to get going. And she called it all off. And I was like, why? What's the matter? She goes, I realized it's now or never. I've got to go all in on writing my book. You guys, that was self-sabotage. But she was afraid to move forward with the launch. It was her first time. What that was going to mean for her, if she was going to be a success, like just having the doubts. And instead of moving forward and just testing it, failing forward, she was afraid. And so she tried to say it was something else. So she wanted to work on the book. Then she starts working on the book and she's not making money because she never did her launch. And then so she's trying to blame other things. But it all came back to the mind drama. It came back to the mental issues that she was having with this. And that's where I said, I got to find a way to help my clients, because marketing strategy is not enough. They need something else. They need the mindset work. That's why I put these two together. It is both to get you moving forward in your business. So here's the offer I have for you. I told you I'd make you an offer, and I want to show you how this is done. So 12 weeks of coaching support, one-on-one coaching. I've stressed that before, how important that is, so that you can organize, focus, and grow your coaching business. So every single week, we're going to meet our set time for 30 minutes of intensive coaching, working through whatever issue you have, whatever problem you want to deal, or even if it's just setting a great intention for how you're going to move forward in your business for that week. We deal with all the mental stuff in that private coaching session. And then you're like, okay, but when are we going to talk about my business plan? When are we going to set up my marketing plan? I gotcha. That is when weekly we're going to meet for a 90-minute collaborative marketing strategy call. So we are going to have a clear-cut plan. We're going to go through your business plan, marketing plan, growth plan, and genius plan. We're going to break all these up in the same sequence that I listed them in today's workshop. And in doing that, in 90 minutes, I'm going to give you some of the strategy. I'm going to give you the action steps, what you need to be putting in place. Okay. And then we're going to answer your questions and break things down so that you understand how to apply it. And with that, inside of the member vault, you're going to have an action guide that's going to chart your way, so to speak, give you what you should do in week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth for our 12-week process together. So you have a clear-cut action plan. You know the next step that you're taking. You know what you're working on each and every week. Then you have the collaboration sessions where we come together and I break it down. I explain to you, show you examples, talk you through it, answer your questions. And you have your private one-on-one coaching sessions to deal with any of the mindset drama, the mental roadblocks that could be coming up from you and stopping you from moving forward. Do you see how it's both things? It's the beautiful business and marketing strategy with the mindset coaching all brought together in a beautiful way. Now, why 12 weeks? I could have picked any number there, but what I want to see for you is that in 12 weeks, 90 days, 3 months, however you want to say that, you are actually taking a chunk of time, a quarter of the year, to focus in and get really clear about your business. We're going to lay those foundations, give you the structure so that you can set yourself up. Because honestly, you could do this in 1/4 of the year and spend the next 3 quarters working to hitting that objective for your whole year. Your whole year can come together in 3/4 of the year in an amazing way if you have the structure and the clarity around it. If you understand how to work through the mental roadblocks and the business structure, putting these two together, that is the beauty of what we're doing here. We bring all of that together. And so, like I said, I am also certified through the Life Coach School. If you are too, we're going to talk the same talk, right? And it's an easy way for you to understand. And whether you have done the applied track or you did the entrepreneur track, I've been through both, so I understand them and I can speak to wherever you're at. So if you did applied and you're like, maybe I should go explore entrepreneur, I don't really know what I'm doing there, this can still help you. Or if you did entrepreneur and you're still floundering, this can help you. The only way that this is not going to help you is if you are not willing to go all in for yourself, or you're not clear if you really want to be in business, if you'd prefer to maybe you just coach for somebody else. Okay. So I want to address that this is going to work for you if you are new, if you are still to figure out why this is not working, this is also for you, right? Because it's so customized. We're going to meet you where you're at. You're going to have the steps to go through, but I'm going to help you to customize this exactly where you're at and address this. So you might go quicker through a part of the business section than somebody else might, and that's totally fine. But you're going to know where you can lay in and where you can start to grow and find the areas that you are struggling with and address that. So then that you don't want to coach with me is if you have inconsistencies about, do I go in business for myself or do I work for somebody else? Do I really want this? Or maybe I want to go back and work at my old job. If you're in that boat, I would recommend another coach that could better serve you, and let me know if you need recommendations in that way. I'd be happy to match you up with one of my friends who's an amazing life coach. But on the other hand, if you are ready and you're saying, no, I am all in on me, on my business, I want to make this work, I'm just tired of floundering and treading the water and not going anywhere, then this is for you. Okay? Total commitment to yourself. That's what we're going to build here. It's one of the foundational things that are so important to coaching and working through and setting this up is your commitment to yourself. It's what that's about. I'm just here as your guide, helping you to set up your business, to map it out and establish your marketing. You're going to get the best of both worlds. Is I'm going to listen to you as your coach and help to pull that out, the best beauty that's already inside of you. But on the other hand, you get the strategy side where I'm going to help to guide you and give you some direction for where you're going. You get both here. I can't wait to talk to you and see you on the other side. I'm going to be sending you some messages in your email. Be sure and check on that. Get the information that you need so you understand how you can get started moving forward with your business. And like I said, just dedicating this first 12 weeks, you can see how much progress you can make, laying solid foundations, building up your confidence, understanding where you're going. What is that worth to you? That's an amazing step to be able to move forward in your practice and be started quickly and effectively. To get started quickly and effectively moving you forward. Stop floundering, stop treading the water. Let me throw you a life raft. Let me help and pull you out and then get you started, teach you how to swim effectively so you can make the progress that you need. It's a beautiful thing. And to follow through with that swimming analogy, I learned how to swim as an adult and it was phenomenal to be like, what? My head can go underwater. I can actually swim back and forth without getting tired. I was amazed. I have swam a whole entire mile without ever stopping and setting my feet down in the pool. That was an amazing accomplishment. And that feeling of what did I just do is what you can feel when you go through this coaching. I want to stress that to you over and over. If you feel like you're floundering, if you feel like you're not going anywhere, it can stop. You can have the relief. You can start to embody your confidence and build your business in the way that gives you structure and ease. It can be set up in whatever way that you need it to work for you. That is what my promise is to you. I back that. I over deliver. I give you what you need so you know that this investment is worth it to you. Think about what that investment means to you. And you're going to find out more information. You're going to have that on my email list. You're going to know what's coming to you and how you can get started right here for just $2,400. Yes, $2,400. What is that worth to you really in the big scheme of things when you are making the money, when you are actually taking on clients and building out your business with consistency? It's just a tiny sliver of the direction of where you can go and what you can be earning. My goodness, you could earn that back and more before you were even done with our 12 weeks of commitment together. So, are you all in on you? Are you committed to you growing your life coaching business and making this really happen? That's the big question here, right? So much for hanging with me and diving in and exploring what it can be like for you to grow your business with less effort and more impact.